Hello again, friends. Sunday morning. We're here to make it a little bit better. Let's welcome in my co-host and friend, Mr. Joe Lethal Lever.
Well, yeah, no, I'm an absolute lover of the Championship.
Well, I do know this. I just don't want to spoil it too much. The man, the myth, the legend, the Robbie D. How are we doing?
Yeah, you?
Oh, hello.
Hello again, friend. There we go. No, hello again, friends, and you are my friends. Could you hear that?
Yeah, I could. We got instant gripes with that. Unfortunately, I think it was Nick's comment from the other week saying Southend's the only team in Essex has made it onto our banner, and that just can't.
Oh, you noticed that? Oh, no. No, he noticed it. No. No. Oh, I thought I'd slip it in. Sorry, that's the wrong end. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. What a catastrophe. We have had an absolute nightmare so far tonight. Do you know what? All through that intro, I couldn't hear.
Oh, so I bet you had a wait then.
Well, this is it. So obviously we're starting for those that are saying, we're starting late, blah blah blah. We are starting late, and we do apologise as always. But we're starting late because this wasn't working. So then we switched to this thing here, and then of course while I was talking through that, I was coming at my own speakers, so you were getting double the feedback. And then I played the 30-second countdown and the new intro, and I couldn't hear a thing. So I'm getting the PR assistant that I've got to run round trying to plug things in and plug things out, and where's this bit go? And then just as I put you on, bang! I hear you all over. So I don't know if it's a StreamYard issue or not, but there we go. Anyway, we're here.
Happy days. Welcome to the Championship podcast, midweek edition. And it's all kicking off literally as we go on air, mate. Brilliant
yes,
stuff.
I've got some things, obviously, because you were a little bit busy today. But tell me about this breaking news. What's going on?
Yeah, in the last 15 minutes, Michael Bailey from The Athletic and also the Pink and an EDP have been reporting after a little bit of back and forth. Norwich City have accepted a bid from Everton tonight for Ben Godfrey, the centre-back, for £25 million plus substantial add-ons. And bearing in mind, that's always been a gripe for any particular deal with Ben Godfrey. This is all according to Michael Bailey's report on there, but the add-ons are quite extensive, and it's a record sale for the club, which is higher than the James Maddison fee to Leicester a few years ago, which was, I believe, 23 with add-ons. And of course, Norwich have already got their replacement, as Michael Bailey quotes, in Ben Gibson already at the club, but will they need another body in there? But yeah, a deal or a bid has at least been accepted. He's due to have his medical in the next 24 hours, and that broke at 8 o'clock. So a huge transfer deal in the Championship, probably one of the biggest fees for a Championship player ever. So yeah, huge news. And just as we go on air.
Yeah. Obviously, as you say, they've got Gibson there, who is a ready-made replacement. In fact, was probably brought. Isn't he always been seen as a replacement? If Ben Godfrey goes.
Yeah, I think that was always it. They wanted a Championship quality centre half with Prem ambitions. Obviously, Ben Gibson's move didn't work out at Burnley, and I think he played for Borough in that season they were up in the last few years or so in the Premier League. So he's got that experience there, but ultimately he's a well-rounded Championship centre-half, and he will probably go in there next to Christoph Zimmermann as the main centre-back pairing. But one thing for Norwich, though, a couple of worries. Tim Closer hasn't been that fit over the last few years, and neither's Grant Hanley as well. And they're both, particularly Tim Closer is well into his 30s. So they may want an extra fresh body. Akin Famiwo, a youngster, went out on loan to Charlton recently, on their books as well. So they've got 4 centre-backs, but will they want a bit of cover there after this? Who's to say? Might be a loan again, possibly. Who knows? But they may feel that they're covered.
Well, this is it. And obviously we've got some guys in the chat. Nick Muller, welcome in. Cruncher, welcome in. Ben Moore, hope you're well. Thanks ever so much, mate. I hope you're well as well. Obviously, Nick Muller might not be very happy with this news, because obviously last week we were speaking about them overspending, or Nick was proposing the overspend, and you were saying one sale and they're not. And this is it. This is the sale that's obviously going to keep them. But I just wonder if they're going to go in for a left back, Joe, because it's the left back they're kind of missing at the moment in terms of cover. They allowed one out on loan. Maybe they think, you know what, centre half wise, we're actually okay. It's just that left back area. I'd be quite interested to see what the add-ons are. I'm going to be honest. because
he'll be well into the 30s. I think he'll probably be about 33, 34 by the time it's all done and dusted. And that's to say, if those add-ons gets paid, if Ben Godfrey goes there, I wouldn't wish him well because he's a very nice young man. But if he gets a bad injury and only plays 5% of the games, those add-ons won't happen highly likely. So that's just in the worst case scenario. But I think in terms of Norwich, I think their left back situation. I know he's unfit at the moment, and there's a while, but I think they are hanging their hat on the hopes of Sam Byram a lot to come back in and field. Obviously, they've got that Barley Mumba from Sunderland, and he's more of a midfielder. He's playing right back, covering for Aarons every now and then. But it does ask the question: Barley Mumba was on loan at non-league football last year. Why is Sam McCallum not ready to play some Championship football at left back for Norwich City and gone on Coventry alone? So there's quite a few questions there to be asked. We'll have to wait and see. I think, obviously the window probably for managers still feels like another 2 years, but they haven't got long now.
No, 12 days. I think someone like Sam McCallum, I think, if I'm honest, he may be... They had a goalkeeper there a couple of years ago who was very highly rated, but was often out on loan and never ended up playing for the club. And the name suddenly escapes me. But I think it's going to be... not Remy Matthews, it's somebody else.
Declan Rudd?
Yes, Declan Rudd. Thank you ever so much. Very highly rated, but always out on loan. Never really ended up playing for the football club. I think Sam McCallum might end up in that category, because he's a good player. But is he where Norwich, and this hurts me, especially wearing this blue shirt underneath, where Norwich ultimately want to be? Cruncher says, Joe, put the heating on. Fleece, hoodie, beanie hut. Well, if you donate some money, Cruncher, to the Championship pot that we're now going to rattle.
Oh, mate, honestly, I love being warm. I've always got baggy, warm clothes on. And plus, I still hasn't grown back much yet, and I've got to do another cut soon. So, but beanie firmly
on. Another cut?
Yeah,
putting me to shame, son.
Yeah, I just skin it off, then I can't be arsed. It's quite therapeutic as well. So
it's true. Right, another couple of things that are coming in, or not coming in, but have been happening. Gary Rowett has been in the press saying he's had no bad feelings towards Jamal Lowe. Obviously, with Jamal Lowe choosing Swansea over Millwall. Lowe had spent time at Millwall on loan. Swansea and Millwall had both agreed a deal. Do you think Jamal Lowe made the right decision for his career? Do you think, or would you have a player chosen to go to Millwall? I just heard that out loud.
Well, you at least they'd always have your back, wouldn't they? I mean, you'd feel loved, but then how do you leave Millwall unless you're, Harris, who's like the only player that can leave there of any credibility? No, I mean, for me, it picks itself. I think the thing with Swansea is they've had that model of playing attractive, nice football on the deck, and that's been passed down from managers into the current ones and stuff. And it was probably just a bit more attractive for Jamal Lowe to go there. I think if he, young footballers can be a bit impressive. If he gave Gary Rowett his word and said, I'll be back, I can see why he'd feel a bit let down. But Gary Rowett's been around football long enough to realise that he can't rely on a 23, 24-year-old striker who's going to have his head turned left, right and centre of all these clubs that he can count on his words. I think Gary would have realised that and probably thought, I don't necessarily trust it 100% because it's his agent that does the speaking, not Jamal. So, I think it's a 6-1, half a dozen than the other, really. I think Gary might be saying it ahead of the weekend as a little... I think he knows what he's doing.
Okay. Now, I've had an idea, which I'm going to discuss with you off air before I announce it on air, doing this next little bit. But the Championship Team of the Month is in, and I thought we could run through it from 1 to 11 and just see how we felt having, because we've watched the Championship all month. We've sat and we've had 3 up, 3 down, 2 up, 2 down. We've spoken about it, me, you, Rob, etc. By the way, Rob couldn't join us tonight because his missus is having a birthday. I mean, how just choose any day for your birthday. Why today?
Yeah, look, I had the kindness to choose my birthday for tomorrow, which it actually is, by the way. So I picked it deliberately for a Friday so it wouldn't interfere with the Championship podcast.
You see, but it's your birthday. See, it's her birthday. It's not Rob's birthday. So what's he doing? Anyway, we'll have that conversation in the WhatsApp group, Mr. Robbie. But no, he sends his apologies, and he won't be here this Sunday either because he's taken her away for the week. Hang on, wait, does she know that? Oh shit.
She doesn't tune in, does she, on her own, I'd imagine. So I reckon
mate, I'm on it. Of course flex those muscles. Anyway, right. Championship Team of the Week. We've got in goal, Asmir Begovic. Do we agree with that one?
Is it Team of the Month for September?
It is, yes. Sorry.
Yeah. Asmir Begovic. Yeah, I think in the first month of the season, you're always going to pick the best goalkeeper or the goalkeeper that's had the most clean sheets or less goals conceded. However, I'm not sure if that is actually Begovic. First couple of games, wasn't there? Well, but overall, it's the performances and where your team's at as well.
Are you ready? I can read it out for. So Aaron Ramsdale started departed, obviously. So Mark Travers started in goal. as the number 1, but after an error in the opening weekend in a 3-2 win over Blackburn, Tyndall elected to bring in Begovic, and he's played 2 of the 3 matches and has made more saves than any other Bournemouth goalkeeper. But I wouldn't say he's been the best in the Championship. That's a bit of a stretch. That's stretching it out a bit, isn't it?
Yeah, probably. I think maybe to my catching saves, Bournemouth are a high-profile club in this division at the moment, having come down, so they always catch the eyes of the pundits immediately. But for me, I mean, if I was Tyndall, a bit of a gamble on the first day of the season. Luckily, it paid off, but I'd be picking Asmir Begovic as my number 1 to start the season in the Championship any day of the week anyway. So maybe those performances have been accentuated a bit because he came in for a player that wasn't up to scratch or Travers hadn't really been doing that well.
Fair enough. Right, at left back, we have got Omar Richards at Reading. Now, I agree with that.
Well, I was speaking about Omar on the last podcast. When was this? It was on Sunday, talking about how, some of the names in that Reading team may have gone under the radar a bit. And Omar Richards, homegrown talent, left back. And we've seen a few of them over the years in the Championship, like Rico Henry at Brentford, that electric pace, and Omar certainly has that as well. And I think he obviously isn't a teenager anymore, and he's finding himself in the game. But no, I think in terms of consistency and reflecting the month that Reading have, that's a really, really, really justified position. They're going in at left back. I think he can hold that place down. I don't think that there's anyone else in the league at left back. I think Quintilla at Norwich has shown some nice touches, but the results haven't necessarily been there, and he's been a bit questionable defensively, some people are saying. So no, good luck to Omar Richards. I think he deserves it.
No, fair enough. Rest of the back line is Joe Roden at Swansea, Craig Cathcart at Watford, who was statistically, apparently, according to this article on SkySports.com, was the highest rated centre-back in September. He was aerially dominant, where it required winning 14 aerial duels. And that's something that you kind of go along with Cathcart, isn't it? What you build up the picture of the sort of defender he is in his mind, in your mind. He is that sort of aerial dominant, sort of old-fashioned centre half, if you like, in a modern world of footballers. Moving into midfield, we've got Omar Richards, Ivan Sanchez, Bradley Johnson makes an appearance. That's a shocker.
How many times has he been in the Championship team of the month before, Bradley Johnson, I wonder?
I wonder how much of that was the one game versus Wycombe.
Yeah.
Because they've obviously done this on statistics, right?
Yeah, of course.
Whereas we'll do it based on a different metric, I'm thinking. But if you've played Wycombe and you had a really good game, which you should do, let's be honest, someone like Bradley Johnson particularly, you're going to have a really good statistical range. Totally.
And also as well, if we're doing it, and again, I know there's been a bit of a running joke of me and my Sheffield Wednesday loving, but
8 points still.
But true, after that many games, but still. Okay, mate, yeah, because you were backing them to have no points by this point in the season. Waste, man. Anyway, no, I must admit, I look at it and I sit there and think, well, okay, if we're doing it seriously, then for a team that had, what was it, minus 12 points to start the season, they picked up 4. Oh. Not one player in that team deserved. If we were picking our team of the month, do you think that one of their players deserves to be in there if we're putting in the criteria, the perspective, or not?
I couldn't even name one of their players.
Shows you cover the Championship well, then, doesn't it, Martin?
Shows them up. I should work for Sky.
Well, I was going to say, I don't even know any of their players.
I was joking. Move it on. Because I was joking. I was quite clearly joking.
Oh, okay. I must have missed that.
Who would you put in the team of the week from team of the month from Sheffield Wednesday?
My team of the month would have been Sheffield Wednesday's first 11.
Ben Moore. Joe, shut up about Wednesday and focus on how bad Cole you were doing. We're not in the Championship, Ben, so we can't.
I'd like to invite Ben on because I'd like to ask Ben, 7 points in 9. What is bad about that for a team that's sold most of his squad? Genuinely, I'd love to know. Because I was lucky. I was banking on 1 point from a first 9 with Bradford and Bolton. I thought we were going to get thumped.
What is it about me finding co-hosts that just like to drop hammers on people? You can't be calling out people that watch the show.
Mate, get him on. I'd explain himself if he's got a point. But he hasn't. Clearly, as he said, how bad Paul you were doing. It was 7 points in 9. And you're trying to tell me the South End are the best team in Essex? I can't. I can only buy
Matt Phillips in disguise.
Nah, mate, I can only buy it for so many weeks, this crap. And then I just think, come on, what time does Jovis dinner? Yeah, Matt, let me put it this way, Matt. I'd love to help you out here, bro, but it ain't 8:30. That's a midnight snack.
Poor old Matt, he can't win. Right, moving it forward, we've got Michael Elisi at left midfield, Adam Armstrong at the front. Again, I think that's well. No, actually, to be fair, Armstrong's had a fantastic September. 11 goals already. Playing Wickham does that to a striker. And Lucas Zhao.
You mentioned about Armstrong, didn't you? And you were talking about at the weekend about possibility of him getting a move and stuff. And he's definitely probably been, well, if not, the stats will certainly reflect the hottest Championship striker so far. But I think that also is down to the virtue of obviously Wickham being very bad, and also who's it? Derby, wasn't it? They played as well. So yeah, not good. Decent signing for the Owls, Joe. Yes. Patterson coming in. Yes, indeed, Cruncher. See, it's not all bad news down at Sheffield Wednesday. Obviously, I know the area so well. But yeah, no, a good signing, Patterson. Championship quality. Been up in the friend with them. So yeah, good little bit of business for them.
Yeah, great signing. I was going to pick up on that after this little piece here. Good signing that. They need a centre half, that's for sure.
Patterson at centre half?
I was just making sure you're awake.
I was going to say, hold on a minute. He was a funny-looking centre-half last time I saw. Yeah.
Oh, I was trying to catch him out.
It's one of them ones. Oh, Martin, in that case, mate. Oh, I can't wait. It's an open game now, mate. Honestly, I'm going to be getting you on players that have played for certain teams for certain times. I'm going to be leading you astray, mate. You've walked into one there, I'm afraid, mate.
I really have. I've got the article right in front of me, and I thought, I wonder if he actually knows who he is. So I thought I'd pump for a little try. Sorry. It's one of those nights. It's one of those nights
where I want to make my co-host look bad. I mean, I must have missed the memo for that one.
You mean after you jumped over my joke, I don't know who any of them are? Comment. Joe, you opened the gates, mate. You opened the gates.
It wasn't funny though, was it, really?
Nick Muller, I was born on a Wednesday.
Go on, Nick. That's it, mate. You've got links to Wednesday.
Good evening, Daniel. And then we've got Ben Moore. Fair play, Joe. Fair play. Cole, you aren't doing too bad. I just hate that Smith went there. No hard feelings.
Nah, Ben, mate. Honestly, over the summer, mate, if you'd come and spoke to me then, I would have put you forward to Robbie Cowlin to have a game yourself, mate. We needed everything we could get. I'd have had you at leading the line for us at the moment. We still ain't out the woods either, so it's just a good start at this stage. But yeah, no, nice to be better than Southend, although it doesn't really feel that hard.
So what will Patterson bring to Wednesday then, Joe? Let's get. I know we don't want to get serious because it's a light-hearted Thursday night, but let's get serious for a second. What will Patterson bring to?
Grey hair, a bit of Championship grit, not a lot. No, joking. I mean, Patterson's he's quite versatile, isn't he? I think he's played in virtually Cardiff have been playing that sort of midfield five for a while, particularly did in that Premier League. And do you know what? When I was reading through it, I think actually, what is he going to bring? He's a body and an experienced one. So you're not going to get frills. You're not going to get 10 goals, 15 assists, but you're going to get a diligent player that's passing accuracy, maybe 85% every single game, 80% every single game, whose tackling will be on point, not necessarily known for it, but, overall, you'll get a diligent Championship player that knows the league inside out, knows the ability of the teams coming up against him. And that's exactly it, Jordan. Great point. He just brings versatility to a side that are going to need that throughout this season. When you're in that precarious position, you need a man that can plug a hole, and he can plug about 5 or 6. So, yeah, no, I think that's a really, really good signing for him. Just as long as it isn't for anything like what we were talking about previously, like Kenneth Sahora at 8 and 10 million. If Patterson's anything like that, then just forget it all. But no, if the value's right, then that's a very, very good signing for a club.
Do you think that ends the interest in £8 million rated Kenneth Sahora?
Well, I mean, if Kenneth Sahora is worth that much, I mean, I try to think what some players in the Championship are worth. I still want that.
Worth?
Yeah, no, completely. This is it. I mean, that almost makes 5.5 million, 6 million for Flynn Down seem realistic, and that's saying no, caught the face. There we go.
Oh, okay. You just can't be doing things like that. So, Cruncher, who is leading the sack race in the Champ? Koku or Lamaccia? I think we covered this on Sunday's show. I think we had a split opinion, didn't we? 'Cause I think Rob was kind of edging towards Philip Koku, whereas yourself was kind of edging towards Lamaccia. Have I got that wrong way around?
Yeah, I think it actually. In fairness, I think I thought it would be more Derby. In fairness, but I'm splitting hairs. I think he mentioned there's a long-term project going on at Derby which would support Koku staying, which I think you do kind of get a sense of, and Nottingham Forest a chop and change. I must admit, I don't even know what's going on at Forest. They've loaned out that Joel Carvalho, their most expensive ever signing, 18 months ago, 2 years ago. Loaned him out to Almeria, second division Spanish side, excuse me. I mean, okay, if it's not working and stuff like that, but talk about the money his wages must be on to be loaning him out for a season when he's meant to be the best player at your club, arguably. Stuff's going on behind the scenes at Forest that I don't think is going to fully meet the eye, and I have a funny feeling it might well be financial.
Yeah, but it is the Championship. It's a bonkers league. I mean, you literally could be thinking these two guys are trying to outrun each other towards the sack line, and then somebody out of nowhere, like an RK out of nowhere, you'll get Barnsley sacking their manager, or you'll get Luton, or you'll get someone that you just don't expect, because that's the Championship all over, isn't it? It's just an unpredictably bonkers league.
Yeah, someone's going to go. And, it's normally the case as well, is once one goes, they all start getting sacked, don't they? So as soon as whoever breaks first, Chelsea City, the other team, and they said, yeah, they've done us in the FA Cup a few years ago, I can't lie. So you're probably right on that one, Nick. But yeah, no, once one manager gets sacked in this division, it's like a domino effect, isn't it? You see that bounce the next week, and then they go, I must sack our manager because we're bound to get a win in the next game. Yeah, it seems to be quite short-sighted.
Is it that, or is it actually more? They've got a list of potential replacements, and obviously it's like choosing a player, right? So I've just had a few. You've not been drinking tonight. It's just my webcam. I'm sure. Anyway, they've got a list of replacements, like they've got a list of targets up front, right? Once one club makes it, there I am. Once one club makes a move, everyone starts to get itchy feet because everyone starts to think, because if so and so sacked, so if Derby sacked their manager, get a replacement in, that's one of their targets possibly gone. So then Forest go, that's two. Suddenly you're thinking, who's left? So teams start getting a bit itchy about it, don't they? They start worrying that they're going to be left with, I don't know, Gary Megson.
Well, you even said that underwhelmingly, Gary Megson. As it just the tone went down. No, you're right, and I think talking about managers now, I think before, as we've seen with Forest, experimenting with a foreign manager that's done well in France and stuff like that. I think now, looking at it, in the age we're in, with football being quite uncertain, particularly the pandemic and long-term future, I think clubs should be looking to experience stable managers. And in my opinion, there is one manager right now who is not glamorous, but the next Championship job he should be getting, and that's Nigel Pearson. The Watford thing last year was just the most scandalous thing I've ever seen. I'm almost, in terms of sackings, it's just the most... I mean, I know Watford are known for it, but he could have kept them up on the fun. Just an absolute mess. And I think people forget, got to bear in mind how bad Norwich were the back end of last season. Watford were beneath them when Nigel Pearson come in. So to give that some kind of perspective where he got them, I think is absolutely incredible. And I think if anyone deserves a punt or anyone deserves a shout, it should be him walking. And I think Forest would be a great fit for him. I think Derby could be a good fit for him. I rate Nigel Pearson. I really do. I'm not saying he's going to get you into Europe or anything, but for where we're at now and, what we're looking at, I think he done a great job last year. And also at Leicester as well at times. So.
The thing is, you've got the current... Actually, I've got 2 points to make. First of all, the scandalous sacking you mentioned there. I do agree, but it was up there with me with Nigel Atkins at Southampton. Because if you remember, Atkins got sacked a year after he led them to 8th, and he guided them through back-to-back, League One to Championship, Champ to Premier League. So it was up there in terms of... I still remember the football world being shocked that they had moved on from that manager then. But yeah, Pearson's maybe a little bit more because you could have survived it, and who knows. But go on.
No, just very quickly on Atkins, I think people forgot about him rather quickly because a certain Maurizio Pochettino came in.
Yeah.
And you're very, very quickly forgotten about when the next guy that comes in does an incredible job.
Well, exactly, yeah. And that's obviously Ben here says Pearson, Mick Clough, and you've got Nigel Atkins to add to that list. If Mick McCarthy, for example, when he leaves town, if Paul Hurst doesn't turn out to be what the situation we know it to be, and it turns out to be a Mauricio Pochettino situation, nobody even remembers the name Mick McCarthy. So it's always about your next move. And at the moment, which actually leads me nicely on to the next move, most of the managers available now are that type of sort of firefighter mentality. McCarthy's, your Allardyce's, people that you kind of... Warnock's one of these managers. You want to bring him in, you want him to stabilise the ship, but is he the right manager to really captain the ship into new uncharted waters? Nobody really is giving them the opportunity, really.
No,
and you find out. Throw
Tony Pulis into that mix as well. They're all names, and again, they either need a long-term project or they're there to put a few plasters over the situation, aren't they? And that seems to be what it is at the moment.
Yeah, and I have often wondered, what an Allardyce or a McCarthy would look like had they been allowed, sort of a proper sort of time to have that. Then again, I remember was it under McCarthy, Wolves were one of the top spenders in the year they went down.
Yeah, and in proportion, it was at the years of like Doyle and stuff like that.
And Terry Connor took charge towards the end of the season.
Yeah,
those years, yeah.
Threw money at it, so it doesn't always work. This is it. But again, I think a lot of it's got to do with what your predecessor did, what the one coming in does as well. So, really interesting times. But who knows, Lamucci and that may turn it around and this conversation could all be forgotten about. But I get a feeling one of them's going.
Yeah, right. On to the Predictor League. So, just to recap last week, here we go. These are the scores from Sunday leading into this week. So, Dan, you're flying, my man, 6 points. Ben on 4, Nick on 4, Robbie D on 4, S on 2, Martin on 2, Cruncher on 2, Joe. You're flagging there, man. You're flagging.
Yeah, it's actually an order of where our teams are in the Football League of who we support, and that's why I'm bottom.
I've spelt winner wrong on week 2. Love it. Week 1 winner, Cruncher. Week 2, whiner Nick Muller. Week 3 winner, Ben. Right. Breaking news, right? I've not spoke with Joe about this, but I'm going to put my neck on the line. I've worked out, and I'm going to do it again very quickly. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Got 9 weeks until the new Football Manager is out, right? 9 weeks. So what's going to go on from now is every weekly winner is going to have a little name, their own name, into a hat. And on the 9th week, I will draw a winner out of our 9 or 10 or 11, 12 weekly winners. And that person will win a copy of Football Manager 2021.
Wow. That's insane. Yeah, I'll get that everywhere. That's mad.
So currently, Cruncher, Nick Muller, and Ben, they are in the hat. If Cruncher wins again, he gets 2 names in the hat. So Rich twice. If you win the next 7 weeks, for example, you're going to be in with a great chance of doing it. Just thought I'd spice it up a little bit, make each week as important as the next. And let's get some flavour. So yeah, every week the winner will go into a hat, and then eventually, when FM21 is released, we'll draw it all out of the hat, and the winner of those, will get FM21.
Oh, mate, no, kudos to you, mate. Thank you very much. Lucky peeps, and I look forward to winning.
Yeah, well, yeah, me too.
It's not going to happen.
Just to let you know, when we have a joint winner weekly, what we'll do is we'll do it one of a couple of ways. But the first way will be who got the most amount of actual scores correct. So who called it on the nose in terms of who won and the score the most, and then we'll go to another method. So because I think last time we had Ben and S on a couple of wins on joint points. I never did find out who had the most number of wins, so I awarded it to Ben because I like Ben. Sorry, S. There we go. All right.
Sorry, but yeah, no. Just to recap, the week that Nick won was a rather unique week because I include the Sundays on there. If we were actually doing it by the Saturday, both me and Nick would have won that week. But yeah, Nick got a bit of grace. That's how we're doing it now. Sunday results go into this week. That's why you have our little table with the points to get you going.
Let's keep it real. If it is me or you and somebody else joint winners, we're going in the hat.
Well, that's the same with the first week, isn't it? It was me, you, and Crunch are the first winners, but we kindly, being the host, it just wouldn't be right to put ourselves down in a 3-way win along with Cruncher. Let's give him the head start. Like I say, we're courteous hosts.
Absolutely. So, Nick Muller, what happens if the season finishes early? Do not think that way. Don't think that way, Nick. Don't be negative. Don't bring negative thoughts into the chat. Don't bring negative thoughts into the universe. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. It's not going to finish early. It's going to finish in May, and Nigel will get relegated, and it's all going to be okay. S, thanks for that. It's okay. I'll win this week. Sorry, S. Sorry, but Ben's been a long-term supporter of the channel. We love Ben. We love you too. But
it's on Martin S. I'm not getting involved with the beef there. So.
I didn't see S in the chat. I thought S weren't here. So I thought I was okay. Right, this week's Predictor League. You ready? We've got Friday night game. We've got Coventry, 12th place Coventry versus 4th place AFC Bournemouth. Who do we think on this one, guys?
Get your messages in now so I can harvest them up on Saturday night and look how we got on. So yes, tomorrow night, should I say, Coventry and Bournemouth. A game befitting my birthday. How very boring. And I'm joking. I've gone for Bournemouth to get a 2-1 away win. I fancy Coventry to score, but I fancy Bournemouth for 3 points.
Yeah. Do you know what? The gambler in me wants to go Coventry. Bournemouth 3-1 for Ben Moore.
Yeah, solid.
Yeah, the gambler in me wants to go Coventry, but the shrewd, let's play it nice and safe person wants to go 2-0 Bournemouth.
2-0 Bournemouth. Yep, no, I think that's fair.
It really does. I just, I'd love a Coventry win personally, but there we go. We've got Bournemouth win 1-0. Nick, Dan, Cruncher, get them in as they come in, my man. If you've missed any, just let me know. Coventry 3-1. Nick, I love it. Positivity coming in.
Ooh, go on, Nick.
Joe, what if that comes in, Nick? You should put some. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say.
I am.
I'm not.
You should have it, Nick. If you find a fiver in a coat pocket, mate, stick a fiver on that. You'll have about 60, 70 quid. Martin can't tell you that because he's the head of the station, but I can tell you to do that. If you have a spare fiver, if you don't have a spare fiver, then don't spend it.
Cruncher, Sky Blues 1, Cherries 2.
Yeah.
Now, Matt Phillips was knocking around the chat, but as always, Matt Phillips don't do fun. He's no good at parties.
No, be fair to Matt. It is dinner time.
True. Eric Clacton, woo! Eric's here.
Still driving home.
Yeah. There it is. 0-0. Oh, Eric, what is your Friday night going to be like? Watching a boring 0-0.
Love it. Good job, Eric.
Oh, you've got to. Right, on to Saturday. We've got Norwich City 13th versus my days, Derby County. Oh, oh no. Right.
Well, tough one, this, isn't it, really?
Not really. I think even I could beat Derby at the moment.
Yeah. No, well, the thing is, they're going to have to bounce back some week. And if we're going on along the lines, and I agree with what Rob says to a degree about perhaps Koku getting more time, they've got to turn it around somehow. And are Norwich going to be a bit disorientated with everything that's been going on with Godfrey going and stuff? I'm sure he won't be involved. Obviously, now the bid's been accepted. And does Emi Buendia and Todd Cantwell come back into the team after Daniel Farker's strong words at the weekend? I suspect they will, after seeing all the smiley faces at training and all that, and for the media and what he said about them this week. So I suggest the situation has moved on. But yeah, I mean, how bad have Norwich got to be to not beat Derby is a question at the moment. Or will a different Derby County turn up to the one we've seen this season? Nonetheless, I've gone for Norwich 2, Derby 1.
Okie dokie. We've got Eric Clacton 2-0. That's a 2-0 for the home side, I believe. He just can't quite bring himself to say the words Norwich will win. S2-1 Norwich. Ben Moore, unfortunately, 2-1 to Norwich. Nick Muller's gone Derby 3, Norwich. Do you know what? If Nick Muller keeps this up all night, I might find a couple of quid myself and put it on an accumulator because this is going to be big odds. Derby 3, Norwich 1. I love it. I love it, Nick. I'm looking at it on the screen. I love it. I'm going to say 2-1 Norwich.
Yeah, I think that's a popular one this week. That's the one I got a feel of for the scoreline. You sense that it might not be a pretty game. They might just get over the line. And more problems for Derby, potentially.
I actually think Derby might take the lead.
Yeah, probably. They always start slower, don't they? So, they can't seem to keep a clean sheet. And it will be a new centre-back pairing, no doubt, because Ben Godfrey won't be there. So, there's been food for thought. But again, also as well, we have seen this, this sort of Norwich side or, in the Championship, be able to have a blitz first-half performance, yet to do it this season. And I guess it all, again, a lot hinges on how Derby start, because bearing in mind they were 3-0 down after 15 minutes last weekend. So, it's a tough one.
Cruncher's gone 2-0 Norwich.
Yep.
I just fancy if Derby take the lead and they concede and go on to lose, there's a whole new narrative there about Philip Koku because now they can't hold a lead and everything else. It's just one of those things. Blackburn, Cardiff, Cruncher's leading the way. Blackburn 2, Cardiff 1. Blackburn are in 6th, Cardiff are in 16th. And by the way, guys, if you are listening to this on our audio devices, so podcast platforms, Buzzsprout, Spotify, Coffee Bean, Google iTunes, whatever. There's always normally a review section. Just head to the review section. Obviously, leave 5 stars. That goes without saying. But drop your scores in there, and I will harvest them up and make sure they are included in the weekly predictor league. Just for those listening at home. But Blackburn's.
What's coffee bean? What's coffee bean?
Not coffee bean. Pod bean.
I was going to say, I haven't even heard of Podbean, but I thought that there was a streaming thing called Coffee Bean that I hadn't heard of. I prefer Coffee Bean, to tell you the truth, but Podbean, that's a new one on me as well. I like that. Podbean, that's a new one. Plug the Podbean.
Plug the Podbean, yeah. Podbean, yeah. No, sorry, I meant Podbean.
No, I'd never even heard, literally, I thought when you said it, I thought that was it, but I haven't even heard of Podbean either. It's all news to me. I'm not a young hipster like most of them out there.
There you go. Right, Blackburn, Joe.
2-0 Cardiff. Oh, no, sorry, 2-0 Blackburn. Sorry, no, I'm not that cold. They're definitely not betting a bit against Blackburn. Sorry, I read that out wrong. Yeah, 2-0 Blackburn. Cardiff have been a bit hot and cold for me, and I think Blackburn will continue their good form.
I'm waiting to see what Nick Muller says.
Oh, yeah.
I'm on bated breath here. I've got Eric Clacton 2-0 Blackburn, S3-1 Blackburn. Oh, Nick, you've played it safe, boy.
Oh, I don't know. He still thinks Cardiff will get a point. That's more than anyone else in the chat. So he is sticking his neck on the line. Good luck to you, Nick.
2-1 Cardiff.
2-1 Cardiff. Oh, well, you're sticking your neck on the line then, Martin.
And I like Blackburn. I do like Blackburn. But at some point, they've got to slip up.
Yeah, and it may well be this weekend. Cardiff have proven that even though it's not as important, they beat Forest away from home, didn't they? So, if it is going to be on the road this year where they're a bit more successful, why not catch Blackburn cold? They may be a bit complacent after their big win so far.
Absolutely. Right, we've got Luton, Wickham. We've got Cruncher again leading the way. Hatters 2, Wickham 0. We've got S with 2-1 Luton. So Luton in 7th, Wickham in 23rd. You want to think this is probably, if Wickham are going to pick up points, it's going to be against teams like Luton, but Luton are too good for Wickham. 2-0 Luton.
2-0. I think this will be very low scoring. I think Luton will win 1-0. I don't see anything in it for Wickham, as I won't see most weeks, but I think it'll still be a tougher game for Luton, even though they've started well, so I think it'll just be 1-0.
Okay, fair enough. We've got Ben Moore, Luton 3-0. Nick Muller, Luton 4, Wickham 1.
Ooh, go on, Nick.
Nick's going for a whole, goal rush, isn't he?
He wants that copy of Football Manager. Go on, Nick, mate. I love it.
I love it as well. I might even, if this keeps up, I might start rewarding just people being bold. Because I love bold predictions. I love it. I love bold predictions. They just make my day. Luton 3-0 from Ben Moore. Right, on to the next one, which is Middlesbrough versus Barnsley. 18th versus 20th.
Not overly excited by this fixture, but I think it will be the return of Mr. Neil Warnock, who thankfully has recovered from coronavirus. Crunch has kicked things off, and I'm going to continue. I've seen a similar result there, and I've gone for, not a similar one, the exact same. I've gone for Borough 2, Barnsley 0.
Borough 2, Barnsley 0. Right. I don't like Barnsley whatsoever. I'm going to go... I don't. I mean, Rob was almost saying they were okay on Sunday, and I was thinking, no chance, pal. I want to say 3-0 Middlesbrough, but Ben Moore comes in with 2-2. Because I don't think a Neil Warnock side could score 3 goals. Oh, go on. 3-0. 3-0 Borough.
Oof, 3-0 Borough. But just by virtue of Barnsley being that bad, you do have the fact that they have scored a lot more goals. Had a lot more shots on target. Borough this season. Remember that game with the Bournemouth one where they had 8 on target. So
Nick
Muller.
Nick Muller. I love you, Nick.
Honestly, the Suffolk ale is flowing lovely down there tonight. Go on, Nick.
My days. Borough 1. Nick's obviously getting huge withdrawals from being away from a football ground too long. He's starting to lose every grip of reality. Borough Barnsley. He's gone for a Barnsley away win. I mean, if he comes in, I'm going to eat so much crow on Sunday morning and happily say, Nick, you were so right.
But if he thrashes everyone in there, this will be renamed the Nick Muller Championship. It will be the Nick Muller Championship podcast for reasons that only we know. But unfortunately, we'll have to rename it that way in homage. There's no way anyone could have foreseen it.
Eric Clacton 1-0. Right, 1-0 Borough. See, there it's keeping a sense of level-headedness. I like it. On to the next one. We've got Forest versus Bristol City. Oh dear, yeah. Forest. Things don't get much better for you this weekend then.
No, and do you know what? I was having a little look, thinking, actually, I've done this the last few weeks. I've gone, Forest, they might do something this week. Forest, they might do something this week. I'm starting to feel that Lamucci is going to be the first man to go, and I've got a feeling this might be the result that does it. I've gone for Forest 1, Bristol City 3.
Ben Moore has gone. Let me just put this on the screen. Forest 2, Bristol City 3.
Yeah.
Then we've got Cruncher, Forest 2, Bristol City 1.
Oh,
wow.
Cruncher, mate. Go on, mate. That's brave and sticking it. And this is it. I was looking at that fixture for a good 5 minutes thinking, is it the weekend Forest turning them around and actually get back into it? Cruncher thinks so. I can see the logic behind it, although I fear for Lamucci. What we got here? 2-0 City.
Bristol City from Eric Clacton. Do you know what? If Crunch is going for Forest and you keep saying every week you go for Forest thinking they're going to do something and they don't, and you're not, I'm going to follow Crunch's lead. I'm going to go 1-0 Forest.
Yeah, this could be the week. Like I say, I couldn't decide. My heart, my head, sorry, just told me that it might be time up for Lamucci. But no, this could be the week Forest turn around, and it will be. This is a sort of game. If Forest are going to turn around their season, they're going to need to beat a Bristol City or a Norwich or a whoever to get things going. Or Watford. That's going to be the sort of team they need. So yeah, it could well be this weekend.
And S comes in with Forest 0, Bristol City 2. If you are watching on catch up or you've just joined us, do not be afraid to randomly, or if you will feel it's random, I won't, randomly put scores in the chat. So if you just joined and obviously these scores on the front page here, Norwich, Derby, blah blah blah, put them in. Don't worry about suddenly putting a random score in the middle of a chat section. Just submit your scores because I'll pick them out. And I'll make sure Joe gets them, and I won't show them on the screen to keep with the flow of the podcast. But please, if you're sitting at home and you're just joining, don't be afraid to jump back and interrupt the live stream by putting some different scores in that we've already covered. Please, please, please. We'd rather you joined in than you sat at home and thought, oh, I better not. So on to the next page. Reading in second, Watford in fifth.
Yeah, again, having a little look at this one, I thought, will Reading continue their form? Watford have been solid. They've picked up the odd. They've had a couple of draws and a couple of wins, and I couldn't pick nothing between the sides this weekend, so I've gone for Reading 1, Watford 1.
Okay, that's interesting. I don't think Reading can keep up this level of form, and I don't think they're going to keep. I think they're going to have a little bit of a tricky situation on Saturday at home to a strong Watford side. So a 2-0 Watford. Yeah,
no, fair play. Fair play. Time for Reading's form to come unstuck.
You would think it's got to at some point.
No.
Ben Moore's gone 2-1 Reading. So he's gone with the Reading side with Reading. He obviously fancies Reading at the moment. I do like Reading. I think they've come out of the gate really, really well. I just don't think they've got enough, as Nick Muller here, enough to cope with a team like Watford. And Reading 1, Watford 4. If I saw that on Saturday night, I wouldn't be too surprised.
Yeah, no. So that one's actually a left field one. That's actually not too left field.
No, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for the way Nick's been predicting things tonight, that's quite sensible.
Yeah, exactly.
Rotherham in 14th, Huddersfield in late 1, Cruncher, Reading 1, Hornets 1. Rotherham, Huddersfield. Guys, keep getting those Reading ones in for those that have missed it. But Rotherham versus Huddersfield, Joe.
Oh, I love to kick this one off because I always like doing this before anyone gets their predictions in when it's this particular prediction. But I cannot see a single goal in this game. I've gone for Rotherham 0, Huddersfield 0. Stink the place out.
Yeah, you can firmly believe that's going to be the situation. Yeah, I mean, I think the accurate prediction here might be how many shots on target overall are we going to get.
We had that last week, didn't we? In one of our 0-0s, wasn't it? We looked at it, and wasn't there? I think it might have been the Millwall Stoke one a few weeks ago, where there was 4 shots on target in total or something, and I think 3 went to Stoke and 1 went to Millwall. So this could be that 0-0 repeat again this week.
I certainly think it will be. Eric Clacton's gone 2-2. Nick Miller's gone Rotherham 3. Nick Miller thinks it'll be 4 goals in Rotherham versus Huddersfield.
Yeah. This is it. It's got to happen. I mean, there was another 2-2 as well. 3-1 Rotherham. Yeah, but I mean, I mean, that's another bet actually. 3 or over goals in the Rotherham Huddersfield game, I reckon will be about 15-1 at the weekend. So yeah, and yeah, if you again are a gambling man, not to encourage it, bet responsibly. But anything 4 goals in that game suggests to me that it is, based on the 2 teams, that it definitely won't happen.
Absolutely. Well, there we go. S1-1 and Cruncher's gone Rotherham 1, Huddersfield 2. I am going to say a 1-1.
Ooh, yep. I think that's rather fair.
Wednesday in... Where are they in the table, Joe? Are they in...
No, they're rock bottom on -8 points.
And QPR in 11th.
That's right. But you knew that already.
I did. Cruncher's gone 2-1 Super Hoops.
Yeah. Well, actually, no, that's QPR. Oh dear. Oh no, hold on. He's gone out. He's put an owl in front of it, so he's gone the Owls 2, Super Hoops 1. There we go.
You're
Yeah.
right. Sorry. Owls,
Threw me off then.
I did. Sorry. Owls 2, Super Hoops 1. We've got Ben Moore with 3-0 QPR. Go on, Ben. Love it. Love it. What are you saying?
Yeah, no, like I said, Sheffield Wednesday aren't going to smash every single team every week. They're, in my opinion, on that squad, a mid-table championship side. And I think they'll find it difficult at the weekend. So I've gone for Sheffield Wednesday 1, QPR 1.
Okay. Sorry, I was missing saying, where's the championship show? Well, I'm doing it, mate. Eric Clacton, 2-1 QPR. I'm going to say 2-0 QPR. I'm not going for Wednesday, am I? Let's be honest. Let's keep it real. Swansea versus Millwall. Cruncher's gone 2-0 Swans. Behave, Cruncher. Bart don't concede 2 goals in one game.
Only when he was playing for Town.
Swansea versus Millwall.
My Boise laugh. Oh dear. Swansea 2, Millwall 1. Close to Cruncher, but I do fancy Millwall to get their goal.
Fair enough. What have we got in the chat? Nothing yet. Guy, those Millwall. Here we go. 1-1 from Ben Moore. I'm going to say a 2-0 Millwall.
Oh, yeah. Fair enough. What is it about Swansea to suggest you think Millwall will go there and win? Because obviously Swansea have been in really good form of late, or up until.
Well, Millwall are obviously one of my dark horses for the playoffs, aren't they? As in like finish. I think they had them finishing 5th. So they've got to pick up wins against teams like Swansea. I can never ever bet against Spart, so that's just that. So 3-1 Swansea from Eric Clacton. Joe is definitely Denzel from Only Fools and Horses.
Interestingly, Ben, do you know what? It's weird how you just mentioned that. Denzel lives at the end of my nan's road in Holland-on-Sea next to Clacton. It's really weird. You see him sometimes out at the top of his balcony. I used to when I used to go down there a lot more and stuff. But when we were sort of like teenagers and that 10 years ago, I've seen him on the train a couple of times at Clacton Station. Very interesting. Now, Denzel, is that because I think it's because I've got my beanie and my fleeced hoodie on? But yeah, no, oh God. Do you know what? I'm going to have to go and watch a bit of Only Fools after this, Ben. Great shout, mate. I'm happy to be Denzel, though. I'll take that. It's much better than being Trigger.
Well, yeah, there we go. Believe in the Bartman, Ben Moore says. So, I've told you, 2-0 Millwall. So next one, we've got
Sunday
games, right. Brentford in 10th, Preston North End in 19th, and Stoke in 15th versus Birmingham in 8th. I'll keep this nice and sharp and short because we've gone way over.
Oh my God.
I know.
I've just seen the time. Wow.
I know, so have I. I know. I've enjoyed your company for too much. I've got some dessert in the kitchen. It started off cold. It's probably gone really warm now. Brentford in 10. I'm going to say 2-0 Brentford, and I'm going to say 2-1 Birmingham.
Oh, fantastic. Well, I've gone 2-0 Brentford as well. So I've agreed with you on that one, Martin. I fancy Brentford to win 2-0 against Preston North End. And for Stoke versus Birmingham, I've gone Stoke 1, Birmingham 1. Nothing between the two sides.
Wow, okay. I've got 2-1 B's from Eric Clacton, 2-1 Brentford, and 3-1 Brum. S has gone 3-0 Brentford. Eric, don't forget your Birmingham one in there, my friend. That's it. 20 Stoke. No, hang on. It won't be 20-0 to Stoke. Preston North End, 2-0 from Cruncher. I think you mean 2-0, right?
Whoops.
Welcome back, Joe. I think Eric Clacton means 2-0 Stoke. Take that as 2-0.
20-0 Stoke, I will put that down as. And when it comes in, we'll give you a bonus point, Eric.
Can you imagine if it was 20-0, right? And we actually took it as 2-0, and it came in just as a wild game as 20-0. Can you imagine the outrage?
Sorry, we had you down as 2-0 Stoke, not 20-0. No one could have seen this. Oh, bless.
S has gone 2-2 Stoke and Birmingham. Cruncher's gone 1. Oh, the dog's looking at me feet. That's a very weird sensation.
Yummy.
Stoke 1, Brum 1 from the Cruncher. And Nick Muller has gone Stoke 2, Birmingham 4.
And then just very interestingly, to touch on Stoke while we're at it, in the last 5 minutes, they've just beaten Aston Villa 1-0 away from home in the Carabao Cup. So I don't know if that helps or hinders your predictions for them at the weekend, folks.
I can tell you 110% categorically, it does not.
No, fair play. Unlucky Stoke.
Birmingham are doing really well. I think that's more. It says it's for my confidence. It says more about Birmingham than it does about where Stoke are at the moment. Because I think Aita Karanga has, got on playing some fantastic stuff. I really think he has.
Sprinkled the magic.
He really has. But there we go. Right, another midweek done and dusted. We're slightly over our prescribed time, Joe, but that's the way it goes sometimes. Sorry for being late. Sorry for the technical difficulties. But if you're now catching our championship show, wind back and give us your predictions, because a weekly winner will be submitted to a overall draw for the FM21. T's and C's obviously do apply for that, and I'll make sure the T's and C's are on social media and on YouTube as a post. But there we go. So we'll see you all Sunday morning at 10:30. Myself and Joe, not Rob, because as the Cruncher said at the very start of the video, we'll go and get it if it's still available. Where is it? I'll just let those words on the screen play out as we exit.
Before you do, I have to sign off on one message. If you can, spare some money for the Sore Feet for the Beat appeal at Sore_4 FOR. Want to incorporate that on the Championship podcast. Heard it on Talking Town. Make sure you put some pennies towards that good cause. Sore Feet for the Beat, doing the sponsored walk for the late Kevin Beattie, Ipswich Town's greatest ever player. So make sure you donate generously, please.
Well done, Joe. Well done, mate.